The crew is caught up in some rubble without a cause. This week on Hapless Heroes. Later, we might encounter an elk of clovenkind, but right now I'm putting up my hood on my cloak of elvenkind.
Hello and welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. My name is Dave and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. And we will start this evening the same way as we've started them all since time immemorial by introducing our cast. And today I will start on my left with Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
I'm first today?
Every now and again. And to his left, we have Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
I'm starting to think I should have stolen more health potions.
To her left, we have Zach as Parrot of Lincoln Woods and also Pregnard.
It's dark in here, but I can still see.
To his left, we have John as Lord Jarrell the Light and also Dr. Dedu.
By the way, Boris, can I borrow a couple more of those potions?
And to his left, we have Francesco as the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom.
I might have a plan.
So as we last left off, our party was underground, getting down, subterraneanly, beneath, some buildings and some rubble and probably a whole lot of crap.
Yeah, probably.
But let's cut a little higher to our...
Actual crap.
There is probably actual crap. And
I mean, everything has
crap
little bits of
and,
actual crap, right?
Yes.
I've been referred to as a little shit on multiple occasions, so I can relate to everything, I guess.
Fantastic. So we're going to cut to our eyes in the sky as both Dr. Dedu and Pregnart were a little bit higher above the action, having planted a bomb somewhat higher up this tower of bone and blood.
Did we actually make it to the top of it? Or did we just put it somewhere?
That's a good question. Where did you put it? Since the agency was entirely in the hands of the flying member of the contingent there.
Yeah, Dedu was just going as high as he could possibly make it before the thing started beeping too rapidly.
I mean, Felix did give specific instructions and did teach Pregnart how to arm the Omnibomb. So, and at least to my knowledge, right, the instructions were very clear, or at least clear enough, that Pregnart would be able to do this successfully.
Yeah, why would he forget how?
I'm just saying this,
It seems like it would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how tall the tower was, because we were also instructed to go to the top of it.
Yes, so I think because, it's going to make for good radio, that you are going to make it to the top of the tower with a little bit of time to spare. So
okay.
We'll actually cut this back in, sometime slightly previous to the explosion. That way we don't have to, have your reactions to something that's already happened. We can kind of do it in real time. We've got Dedu and Pregnart, and as you reach the top of the tower with maybe 30 seconds to spare or something of that nature, just as combat is sort of breaking up down below and people are running for the hills over there, you've made it to the top. Things are a little more open up here. There are arches on the outside, the first openings you've seen in this tower of any sort, opening into a rotunda at the top. Around what appears to be some sort of large red orb in the center of the room, and when I say large, I mean the diameter is probably about 6 feet, so it's, a pretty darn big globe on a plinth in the middle of the room. And several different figures are milling around up here.
What is a plinth?
Like kind of a box thing that it would be on top of.
Yeah, like the holder.
Like
Yeah.
a raised thing.
Got it.
So when Dedu spots that there are like creatures up here,
Yes.
he would try to be a little bit more stealthy about it, and not just fly over them and drop. You know.
Okay. Yes. So a little more stealth is definitely upon the menu. You notice that these are all humanoids of various sorts. Some are a little skinnier and more skeletal than others. One or two have a little bit more meat on their bones.
Do they seem just like random undead, or are they like wearing armor or anything?
Is this something you're going to attempt to perceive? Because I think a perception check might be in order if so.
Sure. Dedu is significantly better at these than Jarrell. 19.
Okay, so you do notice they do all appear to be undead humanoids, all of which are missing their left hand. They are of various appearances. One of them is tall, maybe 6'5", gray skin, sort of like looks like sort of metal like filigree on the outside of him, and a book implanted in the center of his chest. Another one is maybe, a little bit shorter, maybe a little closer to 6 foot and hulking, and what looks like just sort of a massive, like, gore with a face. Another appears to just be a floating skeleton with a metal crown, his right eye glowing a bright red while the left socket is dark. Various pieces of cloth stream from him as he floats in the space there.
Are they in a band? This sounds like a cool band.
I think these are all Vecna. Just the different ones.
So a solo project. Dave, are they in a band?
In the same way that Tyler Durden was in a band.
Nice. All right, cool. So no.
But also kind of yeah,
All right, cool.
but no.
Are they yelling at each other about how they can't talk about what they're doing?
No. There's lots of some smug laughter from one. Sort of a Skeletor-like cackle from the floating skeleton.
Lead singer energy right there.
Is there like because you said on the outside there are arches, right?
Yes.
Is there any kind of like area where Dedu could perch or put Pregnart down for a moment safely out of view of?
Yeah, there are a few areas where there are some desks, some bookshelves, some other areas with various implements.
What
One
about
or
even
two-
on like the outside of the building at the top?
Are you looking maybe like above, like the roof?
Or
Above that?
to the edges of the top layer?
Okay, so sort of the edges of this area where they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you
Okay.
could land either behind stuff or at the edges and be fine.
So Dedu kind of lands as far off and out of sight as he possibly can, puts Pregnart down, and kind of like adjusts him so that he's safe on the edge of this ridiculously tall tower. And then, Pregnart, where's the bomb?
I'm the bomb.
Yes, you have the bomb.
Oh yes. Wait, what should I do with the bomb?
Dedu like tilts his head and looks at Pregnart, hoping that because he was the one who was given the instructions, and then he's looking at the bomb himself.
You want me to do a bomb right now?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, where should I put the bomb?
Right here. And Dedu kind of like backs one of his feet up a little bit and points with his beak.
Okay.
Dave, do I have to like roll for recall? Acrobatics?
Was it at least written down somewhere?
It wasn't written down, but he was instructed
Yeah.
a couple minutes ago.
Okay. Like, was he instructed in specific terms or just we yada yada that Pregnart was?
We yada yada that through dice rolls, though.
Okay,
And the dice
fantastic.
rolls
So-
did,
They were positive.
Yes.
they were positive.
So, what dice roll are you looking to try to make to recall this then, Pregnart?
One second.
Probably an Arcana and with
thinking-
assistance from Dedu.
Yeah. Arcana makes sense.
Because Dedu is a plus 11 Arcana, so.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to
assistance
say
doesn't.
I want to
yeah.
say Pregnart's going to try to persuade the bomb to blow up.
In what manner will you persuade the bomb?
It's got to be convincing.
Asking it
Yeah,
nicely.
I'm willing to entertain you.
So one might say that really anytime that you interact with an object, you're really trying to like speak its language, Dave. You're really just trying to, talk to it. Coax out the outcome that you want to see.
This
the
is
world.
something of an extraordinary request, asking to apply this sort of check to this sort of thing, and I'm willing to grant it because, well, I'm just an extraordinary sort of dude.
Really?
But what I would like is just a little bit of role play out of this. Like show, you role play this out. I will let you make that roll.
Mr. Bomb, I would like you to blow up like Felix wants you to, and I think that I remember how to ask you very nicely.
And I imagine, like, as Pregnart is talking to the bomb, like moving the bomb around,
Yes,
like
I
the
was
dude just
picturing
trying to
the
like
same
pecking a thing
I was
or
like,
something.
picturing the same thing. Like as he's like talking to the bomb, he's like moving the pieces like as he was instructed, but like while like giving it like this like wholesome
Yes.
pep talk.
He's explaining with his hands, and his hands just happen to be doing the right things.
Right.
Yeah, he's like kind of like poking and prodding it in the correct way, in the correct order, as
Really
he's
speaking the bomb's
punctuating
Yeah.
his words.
There's a little part that hangs down, and he grabs it with, pinched fingers and moves it a little bit as he's gesturing. So yes, give that roll, that persuasion roll, and we will abide by the results of it because that role play pleased me.
Please be good.
It's a modified 20.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So the bomb is now armed, exactly as Felix would have intended.
And I
Dedu will then
I was gonna say, I
quickly.
believe the follow-up instruction was get the fuck
Yeah.
out of there.
Dedu will then quickly
Bye, Bomb.
kind of pick Pregnant up first with his beak and then with his little goose feet, and they will take flight straight down and then stop around the middle-ish area once they feel like they're far enough away.
Okay. Since all of this happened rather quickly, you see the last of the group, and they're far enough away where you can't tell exactly who it is, but you can sort of see them run into the building.
Okay. Dedu's kind of gonna try to go on like an angle where we're still stay like in the middle, but further out away from the bombs.
As one of the bombs from down below explodes. Remember how some of them kind of got out ahead a little bit.
Yeah. The ones that were zapped on Felix's
Yeah.
side.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we start to see some mini explosions down at the right side, or closest to us, probably.
Boom, 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 as a bunch more go, and you see just chunks of the tower down below get blown outward and inward and just all over the place. And it
Whoa.
takes out a significant chunk of the bottom of the tower, and you can just see everything above it rock. But also the buildings in maybe a good 50-foot radius of all around there are just obliterated by the shrapnel of this tower exploding outwards.
And we kind of see like some stuff hit the building that the heroes went into, I'm sure.
Yeah, some stuff hit it, like, after another
The
series
ones we were
of
dodging.
explosions, you see a big chunk of the building across the street collapse down right in front of the doorway that they just entered.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing now? Have you stopped, or are you continuing to fly?
Jadu's going to try to continue to move further away.
That's a great idea.
Just because he sees how much damage these bombs are doing to the tower and how tall the tower is.
Yeah.
And yeah. Don't want to be stuck in that scene from that one Alien movie where the ship's just slowly crashing straight down on her.
Yeah, so flying directly outward. Just entertaining me, which direction? I know everything here happened on the west side of the tower, but are you going to go
back the
west
way we
away
came.
from it? Okay,
Back the way we
sounds great.
Can we still see any sign of Legradex from here?
It is very far in the distance, but you can see it.
Like we know where it should be, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like you can kind of see that, there's a lot of points of reddish light kind of heading towards here, although it's kind of gotten purple because of, blue shifting as things kind of get closer to you, unless it's red shifting, and I've gotten my astronomy all wrong, but I don't actually give a crap about that because I'm about a humble dungeon master, because one of them is sort of a little green, and that's what Legradex is.
Dr. Dudu, I can see Legradex from here.
Yeah. You are, I assume, flying as fast as your little goosey wings can carry you out west.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna try to fly into space.
No, you, in the kind of time frames we're talking about here, aren't going to be able to get to space. Not even
Dr.
the space
Dudu,
outside
can we
of
fly
the
to
bubble.
space?
No, Pregnant, we must help our friends.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a different campaign.
Oh.
Boom.
Hint, hint, wink.
Is another series of explosions rattles off at the bottom of the tower, partially obscuring what Pregnart was saying.
Right.
Hi, question from the people who aren't here though, for the audience, right? When that second set of explosions go off, does the tower begin to does anything any more happen to it?
Yeah, we still haven't gotten to the other two main omnibombs yet.
Right.
Oh, I see. This is still just the
aftershocks of the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just the after. Okay.
Yeah, these are more dramatic 1812 overture explosions. We haven't
Oh,
gotten
love
to the
that.
heavy ordnance yet.
I love that so much for us.
But yes. So now the scene is Pregnart and Dr. Dudu flying west as quickly as possible as it's almost even less of an explosion, as just the air is almost like turned to jelly in between you and the tower for such a brief moment, and everything just goes, and two ridiculously large explosions simultaneously take out the bottom of the top of the tower and just blast a good chunk of the tower directly east. And you can
Fran,
see
why are you
almost
nodding
in
to that?
slow motion the entire tower toppling over and falling almost in a due east direction.
Because, and just to answer your question, Zach, because this makes me happy, because this was the plan.
Oh.
It worked. I just don't know that yet as my character, but me, the player, is beaming right now.
At the same time, a good chunk of the bottom of the tower is kicked out west as the explosion happens, and the entire building and complex in which the main party have gone is now buried under a good 15, 20 feet of rubble.
Okay.
And
Dedue's-
the
yeah,
things
gonna
that made up that tower.
Right. Dedue's going to immediately fly back towards the building that the heroes were in.
The landscape around it is altered so dramatically that it takes you a good minute to really zero in on where it is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it's all sorts of fucky, but like at least the general area of where the tower's base at one point was, and like where I think.
Yeah, you're in sort of the general area. Things are kind of flat and featureless almost here. Is like there's a lot of settling dust, and it's a little craggy, but everything's sort of settled pretty flat here.
Right. I put Pregnart down.
Yeah.
And start looking for any sign of the building.
Yeah. It occurs to you, Dr. Dedue, that saving the city of Tarantis is no longer on the menu. This place has been sufficiently laid waste.
Yeah, I figured they're gonna have to rebuild after this anyway. Least of their problems.
Yeah, I think the whole like city being stolen and launched into space, and then all of its denizens being turned into undead, already made this sort of a forsaken place. So I really don't feel much guilt about setting explosives on the Tower of Doom, essentially.
There's no saving the architecture now, though.
No.
So I kind of have a general sense of where the party might be. Dedue's going to turn himself into a mole or some other digging little tiny creature and begin digging around trying to find the party.
Okay, you can do that, and it will take you time. Much time. And the camera cuts to the party in the rubble here, where we left them last episode.
Who was digging again? Someone was digging.
Quinn was
Underneath
digging, and I think
like a
Boris
fallen
found
beam.
a door that we couldn't all fit through.
Yeah, I don't quite remember where we left off with that.
There was a hole that not all of I couldn't fit through.
Yeah, I know Quinn decided to dig despite his not wanting to get dirty.
Yeah. Okay, well, I really like that idea of a hole that only the smallest in the party can get through, so we're going to go with that.
No, we don't make all of this up all the time. What?
What you mean? You mean we that in a land of fantasy told entirely with the theater of the mind that we're gonna draw the line arbitrarily somewhere at this right here. This is too much bullshit. This is the fucking bullshit Rubicon that you cross this.
Happens to be a door.
Yeah. This is
Only
door
the
through
smallest people could fit through.
Yes. This is where I finally cross over into finally becoming my Bush League apotheosis here.
Well, hey, I'm small.
Yes, you're small, and I would say even
Paradil's small.
I'm
sort of
small.
small. Boris can get small.
Doesn't take much for Boris to get small.
I feel like Quinn is going to be left to deal with Jarrell.
Yeah.
Quinn and Jarrell sitting together, pouting.
Well, also the crab. The crab is not large, not small enough to get through there, and is also inconveniently crab-shaped.
It's okay, Quinn. This is a perfect time for you to work with Jarrell and get a good idea of his mannerisms in case impressions are needed to be made.
That's
again,
fair.
Right?
That's fair.
It's
That's true.
like this is your best chance to learn, right? One-on-one with the guy.
This is my future to go on
What do you
tour
mean
after all of this and do
impressions?
impressions.
Don't worry about Jarrell.
Are you
It's all
saying?
good.
Are you saying
Don't even-
instead of strategizing to fight Vecna, the best plan of action here is for Quinn to start
Is to start
noting
planning
Jarrell's
studying
mannerisms.
Jarrell.
Instead, he has to impersonate him if he dies
What
again.
if we need to create? Okay, listen. I'm trying to think steps ahead here, people. What if
I
we
thought
ever
he
need
was-
to create a deception where it's like, oh, Quinn poses as Jarrell, and then Jarrell goes in with the sneaky, stabby, holy sword stuff. You know, like it's just always
Who
gotta
would
have.
ever believe that Quinn Southwind was Lord Jarrell?
You'd be surprised, my friend.
Here, I thought he was just looking, for a, post-adventuring kind of job as a post-apocalyptic Frank Caliendo or something. I don't know.
Strong deception and decent performance. You'd be surprised.
That's all I'm saying. But it's not like we're just going to leave you here. We're going to find a way for everyone to get out, and we're all going to get out because it's not like the fight's over, and I really want to see what happened with all the explosions that we missed.
Aw.
So are you three going in that hole then by yourselves?
I mean,
I'm
like,
going in the hole.
briefly, yes. Here, I'll leave. Here, I'm gonna leave Slim with you, and I will talk to you through Slim, and we will remain in contact in this way. Just take care of her.
Will do. Boris, are you going with them?
I guess so, but, take care of Hector for me. Make sure he doesn't get into any trouble.
Of course I will. Could I use some more of those health potions? I'm still not feeling 100%.
Yeah, of course. And Boris pulls like one of the bottles of grenadine out, I guess, and hands it to Jarrell and one of the smaller healing potions as well.
I love Boris's like possessiveness of things, even though 90% of what she owns is probably stolen.
And she has like a ridiculous amount
Yes.
of.
I mean, I
yes.
really don't. I've got 10 bottles of grenadine and 4 healing
10.
potions now.
That's
10.
a lot.
and
feel
your
like
tank
that's-
is at 3/4, and you're
That's
like,
pretty common
I
behavior
don't know
for-
if I can deal with only 9 of these.
That's like common behavior for like a hoarder / kleptomaniac, I think.
Agreed.
That's a kid who grew up on the streets, is what that is.
Right.
All right.
Right. And remember, she's also a child.
Yes.
Boris also looks like she's like feeling extremely generous by having given both a big one and a small one instead of just a single health potion. Like, look at how charitable I'm being.
Wow.
Yeah, not miserly at all. No.
Nope. Mm-mm. Well, hey, look, you got another health potion, Jarrell, so at least
Yes.
there's that.
Yep.
But
Two.
like I said, two, excuse me. We'll be back as soon as possible. Like I said, I will communicate with you through my familiar. It's going to be fine. We're just going to find a way out of here or a way to get us all out of here. I mean, by all means, don't stop digging. Like, is this hole that we found or this door, is it like in where it was being dug, or is this because this hole disappeared? Where did it appear in this like?
It was
broken
kind of like a small like porthole sized door, maybe about 2 feet high by 2 feet wide.
I see.
But impassable for a crawling human in full gear or armor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, well we'll poke our heads in. We'll see what's going on, and we'll report back. You first, Peridot.
Here I go.
All right, I'll follow behind him and tell Boris. If it gets too dark, just I don't know. We'll figure out how to make some light for you. Unless you have some torches in those pockets, I don't know. And I pop myself into the porthole as well.
All right. So 2 short men have gone into the porthole.
Boris
And
hands Jarrell one end of a rope and then holds the other end and goes through the
Doing
porthole.
the rope thing, yeah. Love this one. Classic.
all right. So yes, you are now all 3 in a very low crawl space that seems to be running parallel to this room. It is maybe about 2 feet high. It is about 2 feet wide. There are enough small obstacles in here that the short can kind of just step around, step over, and the larger can kind of, contort, crawl, get under over some of these things. and it continues forward for maybe about 20 feet or so, after immediately sort of taking a left as soon as you get into here. Like I said, it runs parallel to the room.
I see. Well, Peridot, you're in front, so, and you have dark vision. I mean, so do I, but you're in front.
Yes.
I pretty much I'm probably staring at your feet or your butt right now because that's just all I can see in my in my way here. Right, so we can't stand. Are we? We're
How's the
crawling
view back
still,
there,
right?
Felix?
At least the two of you are crouching.
Crouching. Okay. So like, if I like lean, I'd have enough room to at least like a little bit see past Peridot, or is is he blocking my vision? Okay.
There's a little bit of that. I mean, he's blocking a pretty significant amount because he's geared up for war. He's got a backpack. He's got his weapons. He's got what armor he wears, like
Headband.
yeah, with the headband back thingies flapping in the breeze behind.
Yeah, don't
It's
forget
always
my
a breeze.
headband. Yeah.
There is. It's faintly musty. It's coming from ahead of you.
A musty breeze.
Yes. Oh, damn.
What do I see ahead of me?
So ahead of you, things go for about 20 feet, and the path here comes to an abrupt end.
Just like a dead end?
It comes to a dead end. Now, are you going to the dead end, or are you sort of looking at it from afar?
I guess I'm going so the dead end does not track well with my perception, I guess, of a breeze. So
Yeah, there is a breeze still coming from there.
Yeah, so I am going to... Ooh, I forgot I have this, like, cloak of elven kind. So I'm going to put up my
Invisibility
hood.
cloak. Yeah.
It's advantage on stealth. So I'm going, like, I don't know.
Hey, it's
This
always
is-
good to be
this is-
paranoid if we're in an evil city. Like, I'm good with that. I'm good with stealth.
I'm
like
in
stealth.
a creepy tunnel in
Yeah.
apparently the bottom of like desecrated rubble in an evil city, created by basically an analog of Satan. I'm gonna put forward.
No, I think Satan's just somewhere over there in like in the Nine Hells. This is something else entirely. This is
All right.
just evil incarnate.
Satan is Satan
you mean
because
like
someone
sort
has
of like
to
an
be
analog
Satan.
of Satan?
No, someone has to be Satan. Satan is a responsibility.
Wait,
This is what
was the first
Vecna
thing you
does
said,
for
Dave?
fun. Like, Satan is Satan because there has to be a Satan. Like, it's a responsibility. Someone's
Alright.
got to do that grim work. But Vecna, no, this is what he enjoys.
All right, cool.
He's like Saitama. He's doing it for fun.
So he's like an evil hobbyist. I see.
Yes.
All right. Well, Peridot is going to put up that hood on the elk of, or the cloak of elven kind, not the elk of cloven kind.
I was gonna say that sounds very horrifying, actually.
You know, and I think it just sounds like an elk, an elk with normal hooves. Yeah.
They are cloven.
Later, we might encounter an elk of cloven kind, but right now I'm putting up my hood on my cloak of elven kind, and I am creeping ahead slowly and trepidatiously, and making an investigation roll for any traps
Okay.
or obstacles or
Yes. So as you get
things.
towards the end, you notice that the breeze is coming up from underneath, and on the other side of one of these obstacles, a 2-foot high kind of like rise in the floor. Just on the other side of, well, not 2 foot high, maybe about 1 foot high. Like you've got to kind of crawl over the top of it. And on the other side, at the actual dead end, there is a grate in the floor that goes down, and the musty breeze that definitely smells a little damp is coming from here.
Okay.
Sewers, you think?
I'm going to take out. I think I have. Yeah, let's say I'm going to take out something. I think I had a crowbar in either my carpenter's tools or thieves' tools. I'm gonna open this grate. Why are you shaking your head, Fran? What's
Not
up?
at you. I'm shaking my head at Nicole for what she just posted in the green room. It has nothing to do with what's happening right now. So let's continue with the grade.
Oh, well, something you notice about this grate as you try to pry it up is it's actually not so great. It's pretty flimsy, and if you would have tried to have stood on it, you would have fallen right through. But prying it up, you are able to get it out of there very easily. And some of the rusted metal cracks and breaks away as you do so.
All right, we're in.
Wait. Let me just let Jarrell know real quick. Just give me 1 sec. And Felix's eyes roll back in his head. Right, he does the whole thing. We know this. We've seen this. You love it.
Wait, let's cut to Jarrell, and what does his voice sound like coming out of Slim Shady?
It's actually just my voice being projected from my familiar. So imagine like this little. I think
Does Slim Shady's mouth move when this happens, or is it just like a telepathic kind of thing?
This is a great question. We've never really addressed
Or is it like a
whether the
Croco
mouth
Stimpy,
moves.
where the mouth just like?
I like to
becomes
think
a
it's
gape?
almost. I like to. That sounds more. That seems more like Felix's style. The whole like macabre thing. So yeah, the mouth just opens, but the lips don't move from there. It's just sort of like my voice coming out, and her eyes are like glowing.
Joy.
So yeah, like you see like Slim Shady in her. I'm pretty sure I had her most recently in her pseudo dragon form and not the gazer form. So yeah, this little pseudo dragon's like floating around, and all of a sudden it like turns to face you, Jarrell, and like its mouth opens, and you hear Felix's voice come out. Hey, we found a sewer grate. Peridot wants to jump in, but obviously, we're going to be getting further from you. But maybe if we could find our way to the streets, we could figure out a way to get like into where you are.
Jarrell is just kind of like leaning against some of the rubble, slowly sipping on Boris's health potions. I imagine watching Quinn do quite a bit of the work in terms of the digging.
I'm actually just imitating you. I'm like pretending to drink the health potion as you're doing it. Getting all your mannerisms down.
So we're just having a stare off, kind of, because Jarrell doesn't know exactly why Quinn's doing this. But he's too lazy to ask him why the fuck he's doing this.
He's actually pulled out his flask in order to do this.
Okay. Jarrell will turn to Quinn. Oh, good, they made it.
But we didn't make it yet. Hey, hi. Still Felix here, still listening, still part of the conversation. We didn't make it. We found sewers.
Yes, that's
a
good.
different thing.
Sounds like a pathway out.
For us, that you can't get to, on account of the whole not being small thing.
Yes, but Felix, you always have a plan. So
I'm just giving you an update. It's not like the plan is still developing, Quinn. Like I'm just saying we found a new place, and I'm letting you know so that you're in the loop, so that you're not just sitting there wondering, hey, is everybody okay? Fine.
I'll
update you less frequently. Goodbye.
Jarrell goes back to sipping the health potion.
Quinn, Where in the room are you digging? Like, if you entered the room from a door, like near, far, like which corner?
Wherever you are.
I think it was like underneath. It was like underneath that like beam, right? That
Yeah, I thought there was like a a beam that we couldn't move.
But he's not
and that was
digging there
maybe
now.
through the middle of the room. He's not digging there now.
He's impersonating Jarrell directly in front of Jarrell, who
mean,
has a history with doppelgangers.
He's attempting to look like he's digging while imitating Jarrell.
Okay, Quinn, give me a performance check real quick.
Sure. That is a 10.
Ooh.
Let's say it should have been better, but I'm
Yeah.
digging while doing this, so I feel like I'm slightly distracted.
Yeah. See, you lost people at the doing manual labor part. Like, nobody believes Jarrell would do that.
That's fair. Well, who am I performing for exactly?
But,
Jarrell.
well, apparently for Jarrell, if you did it really well, he would have felt more and more uncomfortable or perhaps threatened by a doppelganger presence.
So should he do an insight check to see if he understands what I'm doing?
Or you could just
Jarrell's
explain
brain
to him
goes.
what happened.
You know, because it was
you know.
middle of the ground. It was like middle of the road enough where it wasn't so bad that he wouldn't recognize it, but it wasn't so good that it was going to make him think that, you know, it was actually him in front of him.
I mean,
Fair
and also I appreciate that Quinn's not blowing up my spot, essentially saying, hey, we essentially paraded you around while you were dead for a little while. You know?
Did Jarrell ever take off the T-shirt that says?
You know, I don't know
Did
if we've ever taken stock of that.
I
know
don't
if you've
think I
ever,
took it
bothered
off
to
yet.
look down.
Yeah.
What does the T-shirt say again?
Hang on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, also,
I
have
went
you-
to Wool and all I got was this T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, have you been in combat since you put it on, and how much damage have you taken?
Oh, I got like impaled for a second and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so
there
that
was-
T-shirt is looking pretty. I was gonna say pretty metal, but we've gone a little past it and into like some like real like British punk rock kind of look. Like it's pretty shredded. Things are sort of fucked up.
And that
And
was
it's, like,
before
On
the building
over your
fell.
armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's before a building fell on us, right?
Yeah, and then a building fell on you. Yes. The T-shirt's starting to look a little vintage.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Felix, you know, at this point, right? Like Slim's mouth is shut, and she is back to just being a pseudo dragon floating around the room. And I'll like just turn to Paradil and Boris and be like, I guess we're gonna go in and figure out if we can get to the street. Let's do it.
All right. So you go through, and down below, what you find is a tall and wide corridor that runs east and west. It is maybe about 20 feet high, so you would have a 20-foot drop from this grate down into this corridor. A little bit of water is trickling from west to east along this corridor, but you would know that this corridor passes right under the room that they're in.
Excellent.
Paradil sort of motions to the opening and he says, "After you."
Okay,
To
that's only
Felix.
fair. Yeah, I get it. Okay. You're gonna have to scooch. I need to get by.
Scooch, scooch, scooch.
Just a scotch.
Let's see. Let me just review my abilities again, just to make sure that I'm not ignoring something that would be more helpful here. But no, it's where everything's fine. 20-foot drop, but into water, or is it into
20-foot
like,
drop onto concrete that's got maybe a couple of inches of water running in a rivulet down the center of it.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't want to just like jump 20 feet to the ground. That doesn't sound like it'd be awesome for my knees. So
I'm glad we're thinking ergonomics even in a time like this.
How long was the rope that Boris left with Jarrell?
25 feet, so I'm basically at the end of it, right? By
Yes.
standing at the top of
Yeah.
this grate. And is Jarrell, are you still holding it the way that I handed it to you, just like loosely holding it by the one end?
Yep.
Cool.
okay, let's see. You know, I have something I can use here, and well, there's no time like the present, so I'm going to pull out from my bag of holding. I'm going to think about the scroll of spider climb that I've had sitting on the dusty bookshelves in there, of that little mini space, and pull it out and read it and cast spider climb on myself. So for the next hour, while I concentrate, I can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving my hands free. And I have a climbing speed that's now equal to my walking speed. So I'm just gonna like essentially go down, but then like walk onto the ceiling. So I'm literally just gonna like shift myself,
Yes.
you know, 180
Your
degrees
perception
down.
shifts as you flip through there, and you're facing towards the where the room would be, right? Which would now be below you.
Yes.
Yes. Despite, your hair still pulling in the normal direction of gravity and a little bit of blood rushing your head and all that, your perceptions notice that this is sort of, kind of a curved at the bottom sort of thing, the inverse of an arched corridor that this would be otherwise. But one thing you notice is maybe about 20-ish feet ahead of you, that off to the left side, it looks like there's a beam that's punched through.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, right up through right through the floor, just kind of coming up diagonally.
I see. So that's good, and I'm gonna gonna relay that information back. But I just want to quickly, before we all jump down here, tie ropes or do all the things we need to do. I just want to do a quick survey to make sure that there's nothing else down here besides just the beam, and nothing's gonna jump out and surprise us and be like, hello, we are a dead thing that wants to kill you. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna do a quick perception
Are you taking
check.
this survey just mall style, just asking people, maybe a little web poll?
Well, I'm gonna walk along the ceiling a little bit more towards where that beam is, and then just do a perception check of the general area. Because I have Devil's Sight, so even if it's dark down here, I can see out to 120 feet.
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
Okay. I'm not great at perception checks, but I'm not as bad as Jarrell.
At least you don't have stuff working against you.
Right. Okay. 15.
15. So it seems pretty empty, pretty quiet. The water's a little musty smelling, but for the most part it just sort of heads out east, and you'll notice things. There's sort of a loud, hollow sound coming from the east.
A loud, hollow sound.
Yeah, but it's so echoey and reverberated that you can't really tell what's going on.
Okay.
That's from the east. There's really a lot of nothing, a lot of darkness and no sound, and not a damn thing except that trickle of water coming from the west.
Okay. So it looks like the room's clear, at least for where we'd be dropping down. Do we want to get a rope and then get Boris some light so we can assess the situation? Do I even have a rope on me? I have to have a rope on me, right?
Well, you're gonna have a bag of holding and no rope in it.
I do. I have 50 feet of... but it's silk rope.
You have Quinn's attention.
It should be... Okay, well, we're going to use it. Is there anything to kind of because I can obviously fasten things wherever because I can walk on walls and stuff, but I'm going to try to help Paradil and Boris kind of fasten something here so they can drop down.
Yeah.
And we can figure out how to move this beam or get it to kind of fall so that there's at least a pathway for maybe our friends to come down and meet us.
Yep.
Boris can't see anything that Felix is doing to prepare here, so she's taken her own piece of rope and tied it to the sewer grate lid piece.
Yes, there are a few places where that sewer grate attached, even where it had broken off, where there are some relatively solid bolts into the stone on either side. You can absolutely get a good tie on to one of those.
So I tie the end that I'm holding onto that and then just yank to pull the other end out of Jarrell's hand.
And Jarrell, what's your passive perception?
Not above Boris's sleight of hand.
Fair enough. I like that candor. Yes, you have the whole rope now, Boris. You're able to just snatch it right back.
From way back down the hallway here. Oh no, Boris!
I've said nothing out loud about what I'm doing, so Felix, unless he could see me, would have no idea what's going on right now.
I can see you. I can see all the things.
Yeah, but Jarrell just thinks Boris fell down a hole.
Yeah, well, I was scolded the last time I updated the crew on what was going on. So I'm going to let them sweat for a minute before I switch to Slim and let them know what we found. I'm just going to let them sweat for just that extra few moments. And I will pull out, actually, I just looked in my bag. I also have an oil lamp. So I am going to light that for Boris and hand it to her. So now you can see.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep, just passing it up through, although down for you and up through the grate for Boris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can walk in and just like hand it to her. Like I just can walk around, like in whatever dimensions, at least for the next hour. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boris puts the lamp down temporarily to tie her other end of rope around Paradil.
Thank you.
And then I
Here we
guess
go.
start attempting to lower him down the hole. How much does Paradil weigh?
Oh, probably a lot.
No, I mean not.
With gear.
I mean, I guess with the armor, yes.
I mean, yeah, with my armor and my arsenal, yeah, I'm Paradil's stacked.
I was gonna say your armor and your arsenal probably weigh more than you, the gnome,
Yeah.
do. Right.
I know.
It'd probably be easier
It
if you just
definitely
drop
do.
the rope and let him climb down.
Or
Yeah.
have Paradil help you down, right? And
Right.
then and then we.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everything Boris is carrying is in an extra dimensional space that doesn't count towards weight limits.
Boris has her cloak of the bat, so she was just gonna, fly into the hole.
So really, the rope is just for Paradil.
Yeah.
Here we go. Wait, what am I doing?
I don't know. I guess
I've got a rope, and it's attached to you. So I guess you could use it to climb down somehow.
Yeah, I guess
I don't know.
I will help
Person.
Boris try to support Paradil's descent. Come on, like a 20-foot descent can't be too hard for level 20
No.
characters like us, for professionals at this point like us.
And how long
So,
is the descent? The descent is only like 20 feet, right?
20 feet. We got this.
Yeah. All
I
right.
feel like if we help each other, we can help him down without too much
Yeah.
incident.
Yeah, and if you like put the rope against the edge of the thing, that'll have some friction. It is a silk rope though, so I don't know.
No,
how much
I'm using my
friction-
regular rope.
She's using her
Oh,
rope.
okay.
We're not even using my silk
Oh.
rope yet. I'm gonna save that. Right?
This
That's why
normal
Darrell's
rope.
freaking out. Yeah.
This normal rope is so rough on my hands.
Did you wear gloves?
I was just trying to joke about the rope, Fran, and how I need to be pampered more with my ropes.
That's never mind. Okay, so we lower Paradil down. I guess Boris bats down.
But no, I'm not going to bat down. I'm just flying the regular way where I hold my cape.
Right,
Cape
yes.
is fine. Not wasting the bat
Sorry.
use yet.
Sorry, you're just gonna float down with the cape.
Yeah.
And then I will literally walk onto the ceiling, and then I will snap to Slim. So Slim's mouth opens again, and I'm just gonna say like real quick, like, panic! Oh my god, it's all terrible! I'm just kidding. Everything's fine. I think we figured out how to get you guys out of there. Just give us a sec. We can see the rest. You know that beam that you're probably looking at right now? That's like stuck in this room. That's like falling through the floor and stuff.
Jarrell has his hole like in the head in the hole where they all climbed. He was like yelling into it, like peeks his head up and looks at the beam. Yes, I see that beam.
Yeah,
And he like dusts himself off real quick.
We can see the bottom of it, so we just need to figure out a way to like remove it or just move it, and we can get you down to us. So stand by. And then again, she closes her mouth. And I look at, and then I guess Felix will look at Boris and Paradil and be like, so let's think of some ideas of how to maybe remove this beam.
What is the beam made of?
Wood.
Boris reaches into a pocket and hands each of the other two current present party members a dwarven axe, and then pulls a third one out for herself.
Wow.
Okay. That's all well and good. I'm not sure if anyone's ever tried to see me like chop wood, but it's not a pretty sight. And Felix will lift up the sleeves of his robe and like try to make a muscle, and it it's like one of those it's like barely a bump, right? And he's like, I would be better off literally just shooting this with Eldritch blasts, if that's the route we're gonna go.
Paradil just sort of like clenches his fingers together through his gauntlets of ogre strength and just says, "Yeah, leave this to me," and starts a hacking.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. How would we best do this? Make me a either a raw strength or an athletics check if you have a better bonus to it.
Sorry, that was Gauntlets of Ogre Power, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
yeah,
that too.
right.
Wait, what did you say, Dave? Strength or
Either a strength or athletics check, whichever one you think works better.
Okay. It's 23.
23 of which one?
I'm gonna say strength.
23 strength. Okay, they were the same thing. All right.
Yes.
So yes, through main strength, powered by these gauntlets of ogre power, you are able to hack away at this wood at a pretty good clip. I'm sure if you keep at it, things are going to change pretty soon. So, Felix, you're not doing anything with an axe because you have, magician arms. So, Boris, what are you doing? Do you have any novel solutions to this wooden beam?
I mean, Boris got herself an axe too, and swung once, which I just rolled for, and I rolled a 2, but my strength is -1, so an unnatural 1 is the result of me trying to make a nice big dent in this beam here.
Your fingers are tingly from that chunk.
Is there even a scrape in the paint of the beam?
It kind of bounced off. The beam is somewhat marred, but you didn't really get good contact with the tip of the axe.
All right, hold on. Just stand back for a second, and maybe if I can weaken a part of this, then you can commence with the chopping. I guess we'll just do this the old-fashioned way.
Just as an aside, Quinn, are you still digging, by the way?
Yes, with one hand while mocking the drinking with the other.
So barely digging.
Fantastic.
Barely digging.
Good to know. All right.
I see what he's doing here. Okay. So I am going to, if Paradil and Boris do step aside briefly, I'm going to try to aim for, I don't know, maybe the center of the beam. So between where it's coming out from above and then anchored into the ground. I want to just aim for this, the center between those 2 points. And I want to just fire 4 Eldritch Blasts at it.
Okay, sounds great. Assume that you hit and roll me full damage for those Eldritch Blasts.
Yummy. It's funny, I use these D10s every single time we play, and they always find a way to slide to the very bottom of my dice bag. Here we go. Nope. 39 force damage.
Okay, that is significantly more than I had planned for. Quinn, make an acrobatics saving, or a dexterity saving throw.
That should be easy. As I probably roll it out.
As the floor just falls out from under you.
Okay. A unnatural 20.
You are able to recover with a plum and,
of course,
put down the 3-point superhero landing as debris lands thud, thud, thud all around you, but not on you. You're unscathed. There's no real debris on you or anything, and your cloak kind of trails off behind you a little bit as you look like a giant badass, even though you were taken totally by surprise by this.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never.
Nothing takes me by surprise.
Jarrell finishes his last health potion while Quinn falls to the floor.
All right.
I don't think I miss
Consider
a
yourself
beat
your
at
health
also drinking from my flask the same time he drinks from his health potion.
Sure, I like that. It sounds good. It would look great on video.
How much health did I get from those? 8d4? Was that what it was?
That's a good question. How much do you get through? Let's see what kind
big
of
one
potion
and a little
you're
one.
What did we determine it was? It was a potion of superior healing with the we did determine that last time.
We determined something, and we even wrote it down somewhere.
I have 8d4 plus 8. And then what was
Yeah,
the
that
little one?
sounds right. Let's go with that.
What was the littler one?
The smallest ones are like 2d4 plus 2. But they like kind of go up in, you know what I mean? Like, it's like multiplicative. So it's like, depending on the type of potion, it's like 4d4 plus 4, 8d4 plus 8, etc., etc., etc. The amount of dice, it's like essentially that, you know, it's 8d4 and then plus whatever the amount of dice you're rolling is.
I actually didn't need to use the little one, so I was gonna
Nice.
say I have a lesser, right? Potion of lesser healing, or
Those are just regular potions of healing, are the 2d4 plus.
Yeah.
Nice. But the floor collapses.
Hmm?
Right, the floor collapsed, or does?
Yeah, it did. And Quinn fell through because he fell immediately and was able to land gracefully at the bottom of the corridor down there.
I'll say
Jarrell
Quinn-
just kind of looks down the hole.
Yeah, I'll just like kind of look at them like, "Hey, buddy."
Well, yeah, because Quinn's face is, or not Quinn, Felix's face is gonna pop out of the hole like from the side, like, hey, Mark.
Hey, you made it. We did it.
Thanks for the what's
The
word?
opportunity to make a
thank you.
dramatic entrance.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for sure, exactly.
Yeah, remember you're speaking that up from beneath him, like a good 20 feet up at him, because Felix is on the ceiling, Quinn's on the floor, and then Jarrell is on the floor above, looking down through
Right,
the hole.
because like
that you
I'm
fell
literally like bending down, like bending like over and like looking
bending
up
like
at Jarrell.
down up. Yeah.
Yeah, down up to look at Jarrell and be like, "Hey, buddy, come on down." I think Boris has your rope that you can use.
I don't know. Is my rope still tied to Paradil?
Isn't that great?
Nah.
Okay. I mean, I could go
I
untie it.
got to the bottom.
I could go untie it. I could walk on ceilings. Look at me. Yeah, I'll take the time to go recover Jarrell's rope. Listen, rope is always useful. Let's
That
just
was Boris's rope.
and you know what? Okay, sure, but in too many campaigns, in too many adventures, rope is abandoned and left behind. And you know what? I'm in favor of no 50-foot rope left behind. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab, the rope and untie it from where we had moored it from like the sewer, drop down, like the little grate entrance. And then I guess I'll get it from Peridot, who I'm sure has untied it from himself at this point. I hope.
That is a good call. It is a 25-foot rope because of the previously left behind 25 feet.
I see. So, and then I'll, I guess, hand it up to Jarrell, and we'll figure out, where to kind of get him secured, and then we'll try to pop down. And then once he's down, I'll recover the rope again. Not about to make that same mistake almost twice and leave this rope behind.
Does Jarrell see where this room continues on?
It continues off into the darkness, out to the west indefinitely, and out to the east. Since no one's really looked that way, we haven't really described that out. But a ways out, you see things open up. And it's mostly what you hear, which is a loud, discordant echoing of there is a room off that way, apparently, that has got such an echo or such a whatever going on that it's so reverb to hell you can't really make out what the noise is coming from that way.
That's probably towards the tower, right? Because if we came from the west, we fled back west. If we head east, we're going to be essentially heading towards the underside of where this tower might not be still standing. I'm really hoping it's not standing.
You may be correct in that. As
do we
Jarrell
wanna-
says, as he's finishing climbing down.
I'll recover the rope, and I guess should we head that direction, or do we want to try to get up to the surface somehow and look for a way that way? I'm in favor of both. I figured I'd leave it up to the group, so I'm not always making the decision. See, look at we're acting like a team.
Gross.
Well, okay, if you prefer, I just make all the decisions. That's fine, Quinn.
It may be better to not be in this kind of trapped area.
I do feel a little bit better when there is sky above me,
Right.
and I would like to see the results of our hard work.
Yes.
But also, what is that sound?
Another thing we'll likely have to kill in a little bit.
All right, well,
What
let me
is
at
that?
least
What did you say?
the sound, like that, like reverberation, that like like
Got
what's happening over there, I could send Slim. Maybe we'll just like scout it out, and if it's worth investigating, we'll walk that way, and if not, then we'll find a way out of this dingy sewer or whatever it is. So I guess I'll scout ahead.
All right. So actually, now that you guys have decided to do that, that's where I was going to say. So let me back it up a little. As Felix has decided to scout off out east, and the party has sort of made a decision on what direction they want to go, I feel like that's just as good a place as any to terminate this episode of The Hapless Heroes.
Mystery, intrigue.
Yes. Just sort of a soft cliffhanger, not really a hard one. So if you like us, we can be found on the internet. We're in such places as Facebook. Search for Hapless Heroes Podcast. We're on the gram at Hapless Heroes. For as long as Twitter still exists, we'll even be there. All those places will take you to the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server, the place to meet and greet and hang out with and get to know us and discuss D&D and discuss not D&D and all the fun things of life that we can share as this growing community that we would love if you joined. Now, if you really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. We know that you have found a way to get to us because nobody just stumbles on an episode this deep in a podcast like this without at least knowing where to get podcasts from. So you know where to get your podcasts from. You found a place. You're comfortable with it. You've been doing it for a while, and maybe you know how to leave reviews. And if you do so, we've got a special set of skills. We'll find that review. We will read it on air, and we will recognize you as the 5-star human that you are. But wait, there's more. If you really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a variety of reward tiers. I have a feeling, Brand, didn't you say one of them was slightly revamped recently or something like that? Or am I just
Not too much. It's more just, we've restructured towards the end of the season just to kind of keep things simple. But pretty much everything that we have to offer is at the $5 tier with just a few extra bonus things, as you
I've got to edit
a little higher.
I've got to edit the fucking hot chip.
Yeah,
video.
You do. The people are waiting.
Damn it.
But,
I'll get on that.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a video of a few of us eating the one chip challenge, which was an experience to say the least. We have
My
bloopers
tummy
and-
hurt afterwards.
Yeah, and we also have recently we've been recording some bonus content in between our episodes and have appropriately labeled those as between two episodes where we talk about things so far that aren't D&D, just random things, like a random topic we'll riff on for a while just to kind of give you some extra bonus content since you love listening to us so much. So we encourage you to join, take a look, see if it's for you.
And if you like us, right now you like us, Sally Field and the whole deal, set up a tent on the sidewalk and put a big banner over it that says "Lovely, happy circus time," and hire a person to lure people into the tent to enjoy the circus attraction that is yourself dressed up as Princess Peach cooking bacon, and you'll be very happy to see the people walk through the tent flap, and you'll say, "Hey everybody, it's me." Then you'll say your name, and you'll say, "Hope you don't mind, I cooked you some bacon dressed as Princess Peach here. By the way, listen to Hapless Heroes podcast, it's great, I love it."
Not much you can do after something like that, but I'll show our cast. Starting from my right, we have the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom, played by Francesco.
I love it when plans just work.
To his right, we have Lord Jarrell the Light, and occasionally Dr. Dedu, played by John.
Until next time.
To his right, we have Pair to Lincoln Woods, and also featuring Pregnart, played by Zach.
So, bye-bye now. The bomb. I'm going to space, probably.
To his right, we have Boris the Butcher, played by Nicole.
Now I definitely know I should have stolen more health potions.
And to her right, we have Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind, played by Mike.
No rubble will ever knock me down.
And I am Dave. I've been your host and Dungeon Master for this evening. We will see you next week as we continue this adventure. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.
Bye.